Hi, in this video I'll be talking about Daniel Smith's Lunar Earth and why I chose to prioritize it in my main palette over similar colors from Schmincke, Winsor Newton, and Roman Szmal. PY1119 is a smoother, less textural option available as Schmincke's finely ground spinel brown or Winsor Newton's slightly more coarse magnesium brown. PBr11 is a dramatically granulating, larger particle pigment offered by Daniel Smith as Lunar Earth or Roman Szmal as Aquarius Brown. These are all very opaque light browns that quickly sink in wet washes, making them great for replicating popular color separating paints like Roman Szmal's Ocean Blue or Daniel Smith's Serpentine and Green Apatite Genuine Minerals. Because I appreciate a lot of texture with pronounced color separation in my watercolors, I mainly reach for Daniel Smith's Lunar Earth. I prefer it compared to Roman Szmal's Aquarius Brown only because Daniel Smith's is available in a tube, which helps me make custom mixtures in my own empty half pans. This is only to save time instead of recreating my favorite mixtures each time I paint. Otherwise, using the Roman Szmal pan to mix in your other paints a little at a time on your mixing palette would result in the same appearance. These colors look similar, but pigment yellow number 119 chemically contains zinc along with iron oxide. The hue can be modified during manufacturing with other trace minerals, or mixed with different ratios to give it a slightly more yellow-leaning brown. If you heat up iron or ferric oxide with magnesium instead, you get the more reddish brown classified as PBr11 magnesium ferrite. These pigment numbers are assigned by chemical to help simplify identifying color ingredients. With that in mind, I want to bring attention to the possibility that Winsor & Newton might have mistakenly labeled PY119 for what may actually be a fine version of PBr11. I mention this because the technical specs for the paint describe it as iron magnesium oxide, and the paint is labeled magnesium brown. I'd be interested to know more from their chemistry department about how this is made, but I don't think I'll be getting an answer about this as Winsor & Newton are notoriously secretive about their manufacturing. By mixing one of these pigments with common colors that you likely already have in your pan set assortments, you can create dramatic color separating mixtures. This is because PY119 and PBr11 have heavy pigment particles which sink in wet washes. The more coarse the pigment powders are ground up before turning them into paint, the more granulation texture is apparent. When suspended in water, they settle into the texture of your paper surface as they dry. The rougher your paper and the more water you use at once, the more dramatic the texture will be. Daniel Smith carries a lot of rare minerals and gemstone pigments that I used to assume were hard to replicate with other colors. I've come to realize that nearly all of them can be replicated very closely. It was pretty easy to achieve a match for Serpentine Genuine using PY150 Nickel Azo Yellow, PB15 Phthalo Blue, and PBr11 Lunar Earth. I did not measure ratios as these are just eyeballed until they look right to me, being cautious not to add too much of the super strong PY150 at a time. Green Apatite was a bit trickier to achieve. I had better results when I first mixed the PBr11 with PBK11 Lunar Black, sometimes called Mars Black or Oxide Black in other brands. This made a darker granulating brown first. I believe you could replicate these color separating green browns with almost any non-granulating blue and yellow watercolors, or even a pre-made green you might already have paired with PBr11. If you don't like the dramatic texture but do like color separation, PY119 gives a similar result, just smoother. I've created a pigment database website if you'd like to learn more about pigment numbers and how looking for them as an ingredient instead of the company's made-up color name can help you save money by avoiding unnecessary duplicates when collecting watercolors. I also post all of my swatch card images to compare them side by side with other brands. I light fast test all of my paints and have made a list of fugitive pigment ingredient codes to watch out for as well. I'll put a link to that and anything else I use in the YouTube's description section under the video. While I wanted to test out my Serpentine and Green Apatite mineral replicas for this yellow warbler bird painting, I think my favorite mixture with PBr11 may actually be with the Phthalo Blue or Payne's Gray, where it results in a dramatic neutral or stormy blue-gray. If you happen to like using table salt for controlled spots of color separation, it really helps PBr11 stand out. I hope this was helpful, and I'd love to hear if you'll be using any of these mixtures. Do you prefer the more gentle texture of PY119 or the more notable granulation of PBr11? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like to see more, you can find all of my detailed swatch card images, results from my independent light-fast testing, and other art supply reviews on my website. I'm currently building a huge pigment database where thousands of colors can be compared side by side with paint from other brands. Updates about this project, along with line art drawings and high-res color scans, are also available on Patreon. Thanks for watching.